Welcome back to It's Your Story to Tell podcast. I'm here with Greg Hill. And if you didn't listen to part one, go back and listen. It's important that we hear the why behind someone's mission and the fact that he's sharing his story and how he actually learned these things. He's not a legal expert, except for the fact that he's had to navigate the legal system, which ultimately does give you a lot of insights. And so we're super excited for you to share a little bit more about if someone is finding themselves in this situation where they don't have access to their kids, what would be some of the things that you would recommend them starting with. And we were talking a lot about like the mindset and some actions that they can take. And then tell us more about how you take this holistic approach and how you've brought in all these different community partnerships, because I really love that holistic approach that you guys take, because when you're going through something traumatic, it impacts your work. It impacts so many areas of your life. And you also need a lot of different resources. And when you're in this mode of fight or flight, it can be hard to actually find those on your own. I know for me, it's like, oh gosh, what do I need? I don't even know what I need. So how do I go look for it? So tell us a little bit more about the nonprofit
Mhm.
and what you guys are doing to help people.
Yeah, so I think one of the main things that you just touched on right there is, the people who don't know anything about this information. You have to educate yourself. If I would say anything that parents need to do, educate yourself, read, go and learn about the laws in your state. Go and read up on all the information that you can so you're knowledgeable on what's actually happening in your state. And so that's the first thing that I would tell parents to do. And then, I would tell them to go ahead and if you can find a therapist, make sure you find someone to talk to because you're not alone in this. So find different groups that you can speak to. I'm a therapist, or just even if you have a mentor, right? Find someone that you can speak to, and then they can help you through that mental health part where you get the opportunity to let some of these things out and woosah a little bit, bounce ideas off of other people, and somebody else can tell you, hey man, that's not a good idea. Well, I don't know if I'd do it that way. You might want to think about it this way.
Maybe rephrase that language there.
Don't say it like that. Try this approach. So these are all good things that you want to have in your favor before you try to go down on this journey of protecting your children's rights to have access to you. And then that third part is, find somebody that can help you bounce this documentation off of them. And we use, different apps. We use apps like a custody exchange that can help you put a parenting plan together. And we'll use things like, our family wizard that helps, have parents have conversations with each other and it helps that accountability. And that's really what we're trying to achieve here. So those are the three things that I would advise on from our standpoint of what we actually do. But now we've been able to extend to the community also to get the additional resources, right? The ancillary resources that are needed. So if you need anything, especially in our areas, if you need, job placement, right? We know people out in the community. We are like connectors in the community to where, you don't have to navigate this yourself because, we know these program partners that can help navigate these things. And then we can get you to the right people to help shortcut your process so you can save time and money and go over to that person and hey, tell them we sent you. Right. And then that can help you get into a situation to where, you could save time and money and go through a process to where, it's more is more reasonable for you, right? And so we have a lot of program partners. We do that. We've collaborated with schools. We collaborated with ELCs in our area, which is the Early Learning Coalitions. So we really reach out to the community and collaborate with the community and lean on the community for things that parents need. And look, it's not isolated to only one community. We try to reach parents wherever you are. Right, and we really believe in the bar associations, right? So if you need some legal representation, we'd be glad to call a bar association for you and say, "Hey, I have a parent who needs the resources." Sometimes the bar associations have pro bono work for the lawyers, right? And so, we really try to make this a holistic approach where not only do we take care of the children by way of the parents, but we want to make sure that you have all the resources that you need for these children also. Right. And so that's really, we're trying to get to the bottom of is these resources and get these parents where they need to be. Because I mean, statistics show that the child who has access to both parents with these resources, this child is, less likely to have behavioral issues. This child has better reading habits. This child is less likely to try drugs. This child is more likely to graduate high school. Child is less likely to go to detention center. Right. This child is more likely to go to college and then they come out and be a productive citizen. Right. And so all these resources help that. And then it not only stops at the children. Moms, I
Mhm.
really think moms are have a disservice right now in our country because right now, 80% of the time, moms are deemed the custodial parent. But what if mom wants to go back to school? What if mom wants to go and get a higher education or have a better paying job? What if mom wants me time? Right. So it's unfair to mom to have all the time allocated to her for the children. And then
Mhm.
conversely, for the dads who have more access, the suicide rates go down, right? These dads have better financials. And then the children get the opportunity to go and get the discipline and the structure that they need from the dads. So it's a really holistic approach when we're talking about the entire family, which is why we named it Our Children Have Rights, because our children have to have the rights to have access to both parents, married or not. Our children need to have the right to have access to both. So now it's better for the entire family. And that's the holistic approach of OCH.
I love it. I really like the name Our Children Have Rights because we sometimes forget, and the kids are caught in this crossfire of parents that are no longer in love and functioning healthy.
Right.
And they do,
Mhm.
they want both parents. And,
Really do.
um, you know, the other part about our children's having rights, what you are helping with pulling in these resources is you're also providing access to resources that they deserve
Yes.
to have, no matter the circumstances of their family. How can we be healthy adults? Because when I'm not healthy,
Mhm.
and for a long time as a mother, I was not healthy. I
Right.
had things in my past. I was successful in my career because I was putting all of my efforts into, okay, well, I'm a mess over here. Let's just
Mhm.
make the focus here. I'm going to climb the corporate ladder. People can look and say, oh, she's successful. When emotionally,
Mhm.
I was not. And when you're emotionally not healthy,
Right.
nothing else is healthy.
Correct.
And I was passing on those same fears, anxieties, lack, all of those things to my kids.
Mhm.
And if we don't deal with that, it doesn't matter what, we're doing our kids a disservice.
Mhm.
So, helping parents get access to the mental and emotional health resources, I
Mhm.
think is probably one of the most significant things we can do if we want to see the world change
Absolutely.
is to begin focusing on this because in this day and age, we can't have hard conversations, which leads to relationships falling apart. It then leads to battling in the courtrooms because we can't actually think outside of our own immature emotions of what do I want? What if healing didn't start with fixing, but with presence? In a world overwhelmed by pain and crisis, people don't need more advice. They need someone who can hold space, someone grounded, compassionate, prepared. Sacred Presence is a 6-week intensive that equips you to walk with the hurting through a trauma informed, spirit led lens. You'll walk away with practical tools, spiritual depth, and the confidence to be a healing presence in any room. This isn't just a training, it's transformation. Join us, be equipped, and become the safe place someone's been praying for. Sacred Presence can be found on the itsyourstorytotell.com website. Go and get registered today.
Absolutely agreed. And here's something that I say to parents that really puts that in perspective. I ask parents, have you been on a plane before? Right? And a lot of parents will say, yeah. I say, well, what do they say when you get on a plane? And I'll let you take a stab at it. What do they say when you get on a plane?
Well, you have to put your oxygen mask on yourself first before you
That's
help someone
that's
else.
that's it right there. That's what I'm looking for. And a lot of parents, and I have to ask them, "Hey, are you okay?" Like, "No, no, 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 no. Put everything else down. Are you okay?" And you have to put your own mask on first before you put someone else's mask on. So I need you to be okay. I need you to be in a good place mentally, physically, emotionally. I need you to be where you need to be. And this is where, all of that, mental health comes in. And I get the opportunity to empathize with them also because I'm telling them, listen, I'm a parent who went through this for you already. So I know where you are. So you have to be okay first before you can go and help that child. Right. And so
Yeah,
that's
because
what
when you weren't okay and
it's
drinking, you were
not
not
okay.
helping yourself, you were
That's right.
not helping your child,
That's right.
you were causing harm,
Correct.
and thank God you had this awakening that said,
Mhm.
like, "This is not
It's not
working."
okay. It's not okay.
And so I hope if a parent's listening and they're in that dark place and they're feeling like, I'm drinking, I'm doing all these things. This is not about judgment. This is not about shame. This is about acknowledging it is hard and it makes sense why you're trying
Mhm.
to cope here,
Yep.
but it's not working for you.
Right.
So lovingly, we're saying let's find some ways to help you. If there are people who are looking for support from your organization, tell me a little bit about where they can find you and
Mhm.
also a little bit more about your book and why they might want to read that as even just a starting place.
Mhm. So the way you reach us is, so let me start out by saying this. Our service is absolutely free to parents. We do not charge parents anything. So if you need the
Amazing.
resources, you need the help, come to us and we will do our best to help you in the best way that we can. So that's first and foremost. It is free to parents. Okay. And the way you reach us is if you can do it in a few ways. You can go to our website, which is ochr.org or ourchildrenhaverights.org. And then all you have to do is submit an intake form, or we have what we call a questionnaire. What I'm really looking for is just some basic questions to help guide you and help answer, find out where you are in the process. And I can help you from there because I want to meet you where you are. We want to meet you where you are. And so you fill out that questionnaire and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So you can reach out to us at ourchildrenhaverights.org or ochr.org and fill out that questionnaire and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. That's one of the ways you can reach out to us. And then once you reach out to us there, you will get our personal information where you'll get our email and you'll get our phone number when we respond to you. So that's how you can reach out to our childrenhaverights.org. And now more about the book, right? So to give you more context on the book, again, the book was not supposed to be about anybody else. It was not about, all these other details that we've made it about now. The book was really me talking to myself. I was having a conversation with myself and I said, Greg, if you had the opportunity to go back and do this all over again, what would you do? What would you
Mm,
tell Greg? What would you tell yourself? And that's what the book is. The book is information, it is tidbits, it is information that I would tell me about the skeleton of how all this works. And then once you have that skeleton, you can fill in the meat based on what's going on in your case. So it's a really good read, I think. I've been told it's a really good read. It's probably 80 pages. So I
okay,
wanted
yeah.
it to
So
be
something to sit down and it's like you're already in a hard place. Like sitting down to read something that's 200 pages could
yes,
feel overwhelming. So I love that.
correct. I wanted it to be I'm a big fan of books, right? And so one of my favorite books is The Prince by Machiavelli. And it's really a short read and it's a paperback. And I wanted my book to be something like that, right? And I'm also a fan of The Richest Man in Babylon. So I've read a ton of books. But these little small little pocket guide books where
Mhm.
you can take them anywhere and you can just sit down and read them. You could probably read them in maybe 2 hours. You can get through the book, but you get so much out of what you'd read and it'll prepare you for so much that all you have to do is just read that and then go research the information in your area. And that should help you put together what you're actually trying to do to protect your child's right to have access to you. So again, the book, go out and get the book. It's on Amazon right now. All you have to do is just go and search, Our Children Have Rights by Greg Hill, and it should take you right to the link and go pick up the book. And hey, give me a review. Tell me what you think. If there's something I could have, adjusted in there, hey, maybe I'll write a part two. All right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, all the experience you're getting and you're learning, I can imagine that it could go a lot of different directions with that book as you're servicing more and more people. I really appreciate that you are doing this for free.
Mhm.
That is the same in my practice, my coaching, and the support that I give on my It's Your Story to Tell website, because I'm not here to profit off
Right.
of your hard.
Correct.
I want to see you have the life of your dreams. I want you to be the parent that your kids deserve. There's not very many people out there, Greg, who are
Mhm.
saying, I'm going to use my pain and I'm not going to use it to make a profit. Truly doing this from a place of wanting to make the world a better place. And I just want to, if I had a hat, I'd tip my hat to you,
Thank you.
because I know how much work goes into this, and to give
Mhm.
people access to you and the work and the knowledge that you've done. And I am just excited to see how it expands. Now that I know about it, I'm having conversations, and how can I get them in touch with you? Because our
Mhm.
stories are so powerful, because it's not just someone sitting there and like, I'm the expert, I've studied
Right.
all this. It's like, I've been you, I know what you're feeling. I'm going to be loving and kind, but I'm also going to inspire you to do something more for yourself and for your kids. And people respect that, because they're looking at you and they're like, well, you know what? He's done it.
Mhm.
So it's not just his words.
That's it. That's it. And that is the whole point, right? To help, these people understand that I've already been here for you, right? Especially the parents who are really having that tough time, not only the moms, but the dads also. And, and a lot of dads like to give up because, they feel as if there's no resources out here for men. And believe it or not, we get moms coming to us more than dads because moms are coming on behalf of the dads. Because the dads are like, "Hey, whatever it is what it is." We're like, "No, you have to go and be accountable. You have to go and take care of your business. You have to go and make sure you get in front of this thing, and if you don't know how to do it, come to OCHR and let us show you and tell you how to get it done." And that's
Before we close, the other thing that I really appreciate from talking to you and just learning more about your organization is that there's a lot of groups out there that you can get involved in on Facebook.
Mhm.
And you'll hear all the horror stories and all the parents who are struggling, but there's not a lot of support to actually move out of the struggle and the
Mhm.
depressed state. So you just hear a lot of people really stuck in that desperate place. I love that you're not just there to like be a place where people just complain, tell
Right.
their story, but it's like, yes, that's hard. And let's change it if that's not the story you wanna be living. And I think it's really important, if you are a parent, to think about where you're spending the time, because you
Mhm.
only have so much time and energy. And if you're not around people who are saying, "Let's pull you up, let's get you going in a different direction,"
Absolutely.
you are gonna stay in that space, and it will get harder and harder. It's never impossible, but it becomes
Mhm.
harder to actually change when you've been stuck in it so long.
Absolutely. And look, I keep it short with them also. I'm like, "Listen, okay, I understand you have your situation. Okay, now the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you ready to change it? Are you ready to fix it? Are you ready to work on it? Well, when you're ready to work on it, let's work. All right, let's get to it.
Because you
Get
can't do
on
it
it.
for them. Like, you
Right.
can give them the
Yeah.
skeleton,
That's right.
but if you're not ready to go read on your own and put that effort in, then I can't help you more than you
That's
wanna
right.
help yourself.
That's right. That's right. And I pride myself. I think I'm kind of like Moses. I could take you to the promised land, but I can't go over there with you. You can go, but I can take you there, but you got to go. So that's
I appreciate you being here, sharing your story, and how you took something that was hard and you turned it into such a positive for your son. And now you're using it to make a difference. Thank you for coming and taking time with me and letting us get to know you. And if you are a parent listening, I want to remind you that you are not powerless and you are not alone. There are people out there like Greg or me who want to see you have the parenting relationship with your children that they deserve. So if we can help you, please reach out and I will make sure that you get Greg's information in the show notes so it's easy to find him. But please don't give up. You have the power to do something different. And I hope you've been encouraged by listening to our conversation today that there is hope to rebuild a strong family. Thanks so much for being here, Greg.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
If you are not a subscriber, please do so you don't miss an episode. We release them every Friday. If you know someone who's going through a hard time in the court system with co-parenting, please share this with them because it may lead them to new resources to help them to get their family into a better position. Thanks so much for being here and listening to us today.